Your teachers lied to you. Not intentionally, but they repeated geography myths that have been passed down for generations. From the shape of continents to the location of deserts, almost everything you learned in school geography was oversimplified, outdated, or flat out wrong. Number 25. The Sahara Desert is the world's largest desert. Antarctica is actually the world's largest desert by a massive margin. Deserts are defined by precipitation, not temperature, and Antarctica receives almost no rainfall. The Sahara covers 3.6 million square miles, while Antarctica spans 5.5 million square miles. The Arctic is also a desert larger than the Sahara. Our mental image of deserts as hot and sandy has created a fundamental misunderstanding. The driest, most barren landscape on Earth isn't covered in sand dunes. It's covered in ice sheets. Antarctica receives less than 2 inches of precipitation annually in its interior, making it far drier than the Sahara. Number 24. Mount Everest is the tallest mountain on Earth. If you measure from base to peak, Mauna Kea in Hawaii is over 33,000 feet tall, dwarfing Everest's 29,032 feet. Most of Mauna Kea sits underwater, but the mountain rises continuously from the ocean floor. Everest has the highest elevation above sea level, but calling it the tallest mountain is technically incorrect. If you measure distance from Earth's center, Ecuador's Mount Chimborazo is the farthest point from the planet's core because Earth bulges at the equator. Everest only wins if you measure elevation above sea level specifically. Number 23. The Great Wall of China is visible from space. This is completely false. Astronauts have repeatedly confirmed that the Great Wall is impossible to see from space without magnification. The wall is only about 30 feet wide at its widest points, making it far too narrow to distinguish from orbit. Highways and airports are more visible than the Great Wall. Chinese astronaut Yang Liwei specifically debunked this myth after his spaceflight. The myth likely originated from a 1932 Ripley's Believe It or Not claim, decades before anyone had been to space. Number 22. The Amazon rainforest produces 20% of Earth's oxygen. While the Amazon produces massive amounts of oxygen through photosynthesis, it also consumes nearly all of that oxygen through decomposition and respiration. The net oxygen contribution is close to zero. The vast majority of Earth's oxygen comes from ocean phytoplankton, not rainforests. The Amazon is critically important for carbon storage and biodiversity, but calling it the lungs of the Earth misrepresents how it functions. Scientists estimate that phytoplankton produce between 50 and 80% of Earth's oxygen. Number 21. Africa and South America fit together perfectly. The continents fit together well, but not perfectly. When Pangaea split, the rifting created new coastline that didn't exist before. The fit improves if you match the continental shelves rather than visible coastlines. Additionally, erosion and sediment deposition over 200 million years have changed coastal shapes. The fit is remarkable evidence of continental drift, but textbook illustrations exaggerate how perfectly they match. The continents have been drifting and changing shape for millions of years. Number 20. The Nile is unquestionably the longest river in the world. The Amazon River might actually be longer depending on how you measure. Different methods of calculating river length produce different results. Some measurements put the Amazon at 4,345 miles versus the Nile's 4,258 miles. The dispute comes down to where you define each river's true source. Calling the Nile the definitive longest river is premature when measurements are this close and methodology is debated. Brazilian scientists claim they've identified the Amazon's true source, which would make it clearly longer. Number 19. Greenland and Africa are similar in size on maps. The Mercator projection severely distorts sizes near the poles. Africa is actually 14 times larger than Greenland. Africa covers 11.7 million square miles, while Greenland covers only 836,000 square miles. You could fit the United States, China, India, Japan, and most of Europe inside Africa with room to spare. The Mercator projection was designed for navigation, not for accurately representing land area. This cartographic distortion has warped people's perception of Africa's true size for centuries. Number 18. There are 7 continents. The number of continents varies by country and classification system. Some geographers count 6 continents by combining Europe and Asia into Eurasia. Others count 5 by combining North and South America. Geologically, Europe and Asia are one continuous landmass with no clear physical boundary. The division is cultural and historical, not geographic. If we used consistent geological standards, Europe would be a peninsula of Asia. The 7-continent model is just one of several systems. Number 17. The equator passes through the hottest places on Earth. The hottest temperature records come from subtropical deserts far from the equator. Death Valley in California, the Lut Desert in Iran, and parts of the Sahara have all recorded higher temperatures than equatorial regions. The equator actually experiences relatively stable, moderate temperatures year-round. The hottest places are typically in desert regions between 15 and 30 degrees latitude. Proximity to the equator doesn't guarantee extreme heat. Atmospheric circulation patterns matter more. Number 16. The Pacific Ocean is bigger than all land on Earth combined. The Pacific Ocean covers about 63 million square miles, while Earth's total land area is about 57 million square miles. The Pacific is huge, but doesn't exceed all land combined. This myth persists because the Pacific is so vast, it seems impossible. The Pacific is the largest single feature on Earth's surface, but not larger than all continents added together. If you include all oceans combined, they do cover more area than land. Number 15. Deserts are always hot. Antarctica and the Arctic are deserts despite being frozen. The Gobi Desert in Mongolia experiences temperatures below -40 degrees Fahrenheit in winter. The Atacama Desert in Chile gets cold at night, despite being in the tropics. Deserts are defined by lack of precipitation, not temperature. Some of the coldest places on Earth are deserts. The hot, sandy desert is just one type among many cold, rocky, and polar deserts. Number 14. The North Pole and South Pole are geographically similar. The North Pole sits in the middle of the Arctic Ocean with no land underneath, just floating sea ice. The South Pole sits on the Antarctic continent with land beneath thousands of feet of ice. You can't build a permanent structure at the North Pole because the ice drifts. The poles are fundamentally different. One is ocean, the other is a continent. Antarctica has mountains, valleys, and lakes beneath its ice. The Arctic has none of that. Number 13. Rivers always flow from north to south. Rivers flow downhill following gravity, regardless of compass direction. The Nile flows north, the Mississippi flows south, the Amazon flows east, and countless rivers flow west. The direction depends on terrain elevation, not latitude. This misconception comes from the fact that many major rivers happen to flow southward. Rivers follow topography, and mountains can be anywhere, creating rivers that flow in every direction. Number 12. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. The Empire State Building gets struck by lightning about 25 times annually, sometimes multiple times during a single storm. Lightning is attracted to height and conductivity, so the same geographic features get struck repeatedly. Mountains, towers, and isolated trees are lightning magnets. Meteorological data proves lightning absolutely strikes the same place many times. The saying is poetic, but geographically and scientifically false. Number 11. The Netherlands is below sea level. Only about 26% of the Netherlands is actually below sea level, primarily in the western coastal regions. The southern and eastern parts are well above sea level with hills. The country's lowest point is 22 feet below sea level, but much of the Netherlands sits comfortably above the ocean. The highest point is 1,053 feet above sea level. The below sea level portions are engineering marvels, but they're not the whole country. Number 10. The Dead Sea is the saltiest body of water on Earth. The Dead Sea is extremely salty at 34% salinity, but several bodies of water are saltier. Don Juan Pond in Antarctica has a salinity over 40%. Lake Gaytale in Ethiopia reaches salinities of 43%. The Dead Sea got its reputation because it's large and accessible, but it's not the saltiest. Small, isolated bodies of water in extreme environments regularly exceed the Dead Sea's salinity. Number 9. The Caspian Sea is a sea. The Caspian Sea is landlocked and has no connection to ocean waters, making it technically a lake. At 143,000 square miles, it's larger than many countries. The Caspian holds more water than all of North America's Great Lakes combined. Its classification as sea or lake affects international law regarding mineral rights. The name is a historical artifact that doesn't match the geographic reality. Number 8. Compass needles point to the North Pole. Compasses point to magnetic north, not true north, and these are different locations. The magnetic North Pole is currently located in the Canadian Arctic, hundreds of miles from the geographic North Pole. Magnetic north moves constantly, drifting up to 40 miles per year. The magnetic North Pole has moved over 600 miles since 1831 and is currently moving towards Siberia. Navigators must account for this difference, or their navigation will be off by significant margins. Number 7. The Bermuda Triangle has an unusually high rate of disappearances. Statistical analysis shows the Bermuda Triangle has no more disappearances than any other heavily trafficked ocean region of comparable size. The area sees enormous amounts of boat and air traffic, making incidents statistically inevitable. Most disappearances have mundane explanations: storms, navigation errors, and mechanical failures. Insurance companies don't charge higher rates for the Bermuda Triangle. The mystery exists in pop culture, not in maritime statistics. Number 6. Europe and Asia are separate continents. Geologically, Europe and Asia are one continuous landmass called Eurasia, with no clear physical boundary. The Ural Mountains are often cited as the boundary, but these are relatively low mountains that don't create any significant barrier. Europe and Asia share the same tectonic plate and landmass. Calling them separate continents is a choice based on cultural identity, not physical geography. The division is entirely political and historical. Number 5. Mount Kilimanjaro's snow will be gone by 2020. Scientists predicted in 2002 that Kilimanjaro's glaciers would disappear by 2020, but they're still there, albeit much smaller. Over 85% of the glaciers have disappeared since 1912, but the complete loss timeline was wrong. Current projections now suggest 2040 for complete glacier loss. The original prediction was based on linear projections that didn't account for complex climate variables. The glaciers are dying, just slower than initially predicted. Number 4. Australia is the world's largest island. Greenland is the world's largest island at 836,000 square miles. Australia is 2.97 million square miles, making it too large to be classified as an island. Australia is a continent, not an island. The confusion comes from Australia being both a country and a continent. Geographers classify anything larger than Greenland as a continental landmass rather than an island. Number 3. The Red Sea is red. The Red Sea isn't red. The name might come from seasonal blooms of red-colored algae, translation errors, or nearby red mountains. Most of the time, the water looks blue-green like any other sea. The name is a mystery with multiple competing theories, but no definitive answer. Ancient maps and texts offer conflicting explanations for the name. Whatever the origin, the color isn't literally red. Number 2. The Amazon River has no bridges crossing it. This fact was true for many years, but is now false. The Rio Negro Bridge opened in 2011 near Manaus, Brazil. The bridge spans 2.2 miles and connects Manaus to communities on the other side. While the Amazon still has very few bridges given its enormous length, claiming it has 0 bridges is outdated. The Amazon's width and remote location make bridge construction extremely difficult, explaining why bridges are rare. Number 1. There are 5 oceans. The number of oceans is actually debated. For most of history, there were 4 recognized oceans: Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Arctic. In 2000, the International Hydrographic Organization recognized the Southern Ocean surrounding Antarctica as a 5th ocean. However, not all countries accept this designation. Some geographers argue the Southern Ocean is just the southern portions of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, rather than a separate body. The five-ocean model is relatively new and not universally accepted. What constitutes an ocean versus a sea is somewhat arbitrary and based on committee decisions, not purely geographic criteria. Ocean boundaries are human constructs, not natural divisions. The water is all connected, and where we draw lines between oceans is more political than geographic. Your understanding of how many oceans exist depends on which geography organization you ask and which decade you learned this information. Which geography fact shocked you to learn was wrong? Drop a comment and subscribe for more truth about the world they never taught you in school.